Go back to here. Where should we begin? Isn't it obvious we should begin with that, you know, the thing. The mystery of the victim, and how the detective died. Be killed in two places simultaneously. Well, you see, we should go to the police department. The evidence room was it? I'm not being very useful, am I? No, you're being very helpful. Okay, get into the freaking room, though. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. Going through all the tough times while there was all the rumors, past December. There was that business with him not reading the official report. And about the killing at the police department. The chief of police was right about that, but I can't help but think someone at the police department doesn't like Edgeworth. There's something I'm missing between here at the guard station and over here at the criminal affairs department. Also, I did the thing wrong. If I wanted to look for blood, I did the wrong thing. I swear to God, at this point, I'm gonna be looking up what to do next, because what the heck am I missing? This is, like, not fun. It's just kind of annoying. The detective desks, the computers and files are each funny, they're a lot tighter than I expect. Guess the detectives don't spend a lot of time at their desks. Oh, sorry you had to see that. What exactly did the chief of police want you to do? Well, you see over here. Okay, I had to talk to this guy, god dang it. Over there, that's Goodman's desk. He wanted me to check it for anything that might be a clue. They took away every last piece of garbage in that trash can. So, nothing belonging to Detective Goodman is still here? Of course not! Well, except for this. What? You kept something? Sure, why not? It's not important. He didn't even finish writing it. It's a lost item report, but it's only half complete. A lost item? A good detective lost something? The date on it is February 21st. Better take a note of that just in case. 2/21, that was on the, February 21st. That was on the paper they signed. Half-written document dated February 21st can only be submitted to Chief of Police. I should really get back to investigating the police department crime scene. Okay, is that all I needed to get to the guard station? No. Let me actually look at the paper, because maybe that's what I need to do. Nope. ID 59? No. 54? Yeah, because that matches up. So, he was looking for the lost item, or running a lost item report about the missing knife. Actually, I was wondering if we could ask you for a favor. Well, I never thought the day would come when Rido asked me for help. I was wondering if we can investigate the evidence room. Now, Rido. Actually, I'm sorry. I don't need to investigate after all. Rido, please. Do I look like a selfish man? Huh? Heck, if anyone asked me, "So, can I borrow $50?" I'd give them $50 no problem. So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's content. Knock yourself out. Just goes to show you never know until you ask. And for you, here, you can borrow this. Hey, this is a Detective ID's card, isn't it? That's a special card for guests, so don't lose it. Yes, sir! It's an honor. You just run along and do your best now. Later, folks! Finally, progress! Looks pretty cool on my lapel, doesn't it? Just think, a real ID. You seem happy. Yes, sir, because, sir, we get to go into the evidence room now, sir. I think this place is a bad influence on the girl. I hate that I have to freaking leave just to get to the guard station. Like, why couldn't they have just been in the same... Why couldn't it have just been in that one thing? The evidence room is beyond that door. And we have an ID card from Chief Gant. Let's just walk in. It won't open. Aha! The card reader is turned off, see? What is that security guard thinking? Howdy, partner. Well, well. What's made my Bambina's sky so gray? Officer Marshall! Why does it have to be him? What's that? Why does it have to be him look for? As you may have surmised, this here's my saloon. We're here to investigate the crime scene. Yeehaw! That card you got there on your chest. That's better than a sheriff's badge in these parts. Yeehaw? Well, what are you standing there for? Get along, little doggies. The crime scene's awaiting. Looks like the card reader's on again. While we're here, I was wondering if we could ask you some questions. Sorry, cowboy, but I got no mind tagging with you, hombres. You're busy then? Did I say that? I only said I didn't wish to speak to you. Actually, you said you had no mind to tangle with us hombres. How would you feel about a steak? That smell. Reminds me of Texas. So, Officer Marshall, you're from Texas? No, I just saw a special on television the other day. Is this for my baby? Yeah, Miss Starr. What's this? What? What's wrong? A filet steak lunch. I see. I see. I don't see. I wonder what it means. Saying lunch was given to Officer Marshall. Alright, Bambina, you win. Ask anything. Fine, it seems like. He's willing to talk! The sheriff back in the Wild West didn't place as much faith in evidence. Well, the only thing they trusted was their shooting hand. This is neither Wild nor West. Ha! But that and this are two different things entirely. I guess so. I'm lost. Looks like we need some evidence to get anywhere with this guy. Officer Marshall, you're in charge of security for the evidence room, right? You got good honest, partner. It's an easy job, and I'm grateful for it. Actually, Officer Makins at the detention center told us. Oh, the poor little doggy. Poor guy. I kept getting his name wrong and calling him Meekly. He told us something. He said that when the stabbing occurred, you weren't at your station. Well, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this. But since I got demoted from detective 2 years ago. Well, it might not look it, but I lost my fire for that job, you know? So, what were you doing around 5:15 when the murder took place? Well, I reckon I was galloping down the highway on the back of my steed Zippy. Note, he was riding down the highway on his horse named Zippy. There's no need for people here, anyhow. These newfangled machines do a bang-up job keeping an eye on the place. You mean the security camera system? I don't take machines much. Kinda like that stewed broccoli they sneak in next to your steak, you know? Miss Starr told us something. She said that you were a detective until 2 years ago? It was always my dream to be a rawhide ringer on the scene of the crime. It's all gone now, like a drinking hole in a prairie fire. You're still investigating the SO9 incident with Miss Starr, aren't you? That was my case. It's all solved on the record books, but it smells like a bad game of poker. I can't let it go. That's all there is to it. What kind of case was it anyways? We've heard the name so many times, but no one tells us what exactly happened. There are some things you're better off not knowing, Bambina. Anyways, that case is officially dead as of 2 days ago. 2 days ago? Wait, the day of our case? That's right. The evidence transfers. Edward was talking about the transfers too. You know what maybe two of the machines in here... I know what maybe 2 of these machines here do. Only 2 of them? But there must be like a dozen. Like I said, Bambina, I mean machines, well... I don't like them as much as I like stewed cauliflower with my steak. The easiest ones to understand are these here security cameras. Those are the ones that Officer Minkins mentioned. If nothing happens in the tapes, they're automatically erased every few hours. And Officer Minkins and Detective Goodman are the only ones on those tapes? I reckon they might be. It's a security guard and you reckon? One more thing. When you go into the evidence room, you need an ID card. That's the card reader by the door. The card reader leaves a record of every ID card that passes through. So, this is the ID card record. Hey! I've seen that somewhere before. Sorry, Bambina, I can't show you more than that. Huh? I haven't heard whether this is related to the case yet. Mr. Wright, I saw a number on that record just now. I've seen that number before. Maybe there's some way I can prove the record is tied to the stabbing. Sorry, but could you explain what this whole transfer thing's about? We like keep evidence from solved cases in this room. They're kept here under the presiding detective's supervision for 2 years. So we can reinvestigate them if it turns out there was a mistake, see? So what happened to the evidence after 2 years? It goes to sleep forever in the underground vaults of the county sheriff department. That's what we call transfer. We do it every February. I see now. Transfer is like a funeral for the old cases. 2 years after a case is solved, it's closed forever. Dead. Never to be reopened again. Never to be reinvestigated. And that happened to SO9 2 days ago. See this? This is the victim's ID card. Ah, the one that was on the ground in the parking lot. The number on this is 5842189. Officer Marshall, show us that ID card report again. 584. Look, the fourth number is a perfect match. It was used at 5:14, right before the stabbing. What's more, there was only one of them cards in the world. So, when the incident occurred, Detective Goodman was in the detective room? But wait, what did Officer Minkins say? So I entered the evidence room and I asked the man to display his ID card. So you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card. What did he do? No, the thing suddenly pointed a knife at me! If he had his ID card then, why would he have pointed a knife at Officer Minkins? Alright, compadre, you win. I guess I can give you this ID card record. IDs of all who entered on February 21st. I've got an idea. Maybe I should show this list to other people with IDs here. First off, I'd like to get to the evidence room. It's quiet. The investigation must be over. So this is where the evidence room... So this is the evidence room. Feeling kind of like a graveyard. Graveyards are supposed to have grass and trees. This feels more like a morgue. Nice try, Mr. Wright. You can't scare me. Eee! Whoa! Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I wouldn't recommend going around smacking girls in the head, pal. So it's true what I heard. Righto, please. Do I look like a selfish man? Heck, if anyone asked me, so can I borrow $50? I'd give him $50 no problem. So go ahead, investigate that $50 desire. Knock yourself out. Yeah, it's true.
So chief of police get. Well, anyone 50 bucks, even me?
So that's what you're talking about?
Actually, I was put in charge of the investigation for today.
Just for today? Boss for a day.
But guess what? You got permission from the chief, so now you're boss for a day.
Gee, thanks.
First of all, you'll want to have this.
Eminence Room floor plans. I'm gonna say one thing, speaking as a detective, if I see a piece of evidence I know nothing about, I say nothing. Could you take a look at this? This is the ID card record of people who came here on the day of the stabbing.
Oh, I heard the rumors. So it was Goodman who came here at the time of the murder. Whoa!
What is it?
That second number!
It's not your ID number, is it, Detective Gumshoe?
Mr. Edgeworth!
What?
The second number on this list belongs to Mr. Edgeworth.
What? What? Why would Edgeworth have come to the evidence room? Okay, we're getting someplace. Wait, what time did he get here? 4:40, alright. So, Detective Gumshoe, you're boss for the day?
That's right. It's an honor. After all, the murder took place right here in the police department.
But if you're the boss, why are you all alone? Where are all your underlings?
They're using yesterday's findings to prepare for tomorrow's trial.
Otherwise, you got kicked out of the investigation again.
I'm out of it, though. I'm gonna take control and put this case to rest. In my own evidence locker, pal.
You have a locker in here too, Detective Gumshoe?
Of course! I am a detective after all. They give me a locker that only I can open, pal.
Only you can open.
This place is more high-tech than you might think. Every locker is fixed so that only one detective can open it.
Using their ID card?
Well, that's the thing, pal. ID cards can't be lost. Why? I'm on my third card since entering the force already.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah, but even I can't lose my own right hand.
Right hand? Oh, you mean fingerprints?
Exactly, pal. The lock for each locker is coded with a fingerprint. So, the only lockers we can open is our own.
Funny, they look like normal lockers.
They're the latest model. There's a trick to the handles, see?
The handles?
On the other side of the handle is a sensor, and if the wrong person touches it,
zap, you get a shock.
That's what happened. If that's what happened, my hand would be black and smoking every day. In any case, locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force who don't even know about the fingerprint locks.
Only assigned Detective Prince can unlock it. Indicator lamp lights up when it's opened. So,
Edgeworth. Always believed in Mr. Edgeworth, no matter what happened.
So, Mr. Edgeworth is with the inquiry committee now, right?
They're trying to figure out who's responsible for the mess up in court today.
I see.
I guess it's what you call fate. Mr. Edgeworth just can't get away from that case.
That case?
Yeah, that case. The SO9 incident, of course. That was the beginning of the end for Mr. Edgeworth.
Maybe we can get him to tell us more about this case. I have a lot of evidence, goodness me.
There's Goodman's note, and that switchblade knife. That Edgeworth was the most surprised of anyone.
Because of the SL9 connection?
That's what Mr. Edgeworth's first big case. That was Mr. Edgeworth's first big case, 2 years ago. That was the first time the world knew Mr. Edgeworth knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared.
But why would evidence from that case turn up now?
I guess it's not over, pal. Maybe there are some loose ends left in the case. That's all 9. That was a bloody violent case.
Violent? So it was a murder?
A serial killing.
Serial killing?
Maybe I don't want to get involved in this after all. But the killer made a mistake. Mr. Edwards built his case around... The killer made a mistake. Mr. Edwards built his case around that to nab him.
And this was 2 years ago?
That put Mr. Edwards right in the spotlight. And started the rumor mill.
Rumors? About forging evidence?
It was supposed to be all cleared up with Trent's fall the other day. It was the last job he ever did. Detective Goodman, that is.
Huh? What do you mean?
Excuse me. Detective Goodman was the detective in charge of the SO9 incident, see?
So that switchblade knife. The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself?
Of course someone else really did it. Someone must have. Someone who will have a grudge against Mr. Edgeworth.
I didn't really actually have something to say there. That and the knife, yeah. Okay. So both knives have their own things he talks about. Oh yeah, he said he has nothing about this. Oh, hello! Right off the bat, wow. Why am I getting a reaction here? There's no reason for the murderer to such a spot if he fled out the door. This might be something significant.
Hey! That's some pretty amazing stuff you got there, pal.
What's this? What, this? It's called Luminal testing fluid.
Get your hands on that!
Huh?
I'd like to get some too. I can borrow $50 from the chief.
Where did you get it, Emma? I always buy it by mail order. Well, I better jot this down on the floor plans. We got any more blood? Because we got a corridor with, handcuffs on it. Suspicious. Yeah, that was a little bit obvious. I knew it! This is someone's right handprint!
What? What's the matter, detective? This locker, it's mine!
It's yours?
Please! You have to help me! When they care to take me away, promise you'll testify that I didn't harm a fly! You'll do that for me, won't you, pal?
This is an important clue. I'll jot this down on the floor plans.
Count on you guys, believe me! You can trust the police!
What? But you're a detective!
Oh!
That's a lot of blood. This must have been one massive pool of blood. Never seen anything like it. I'm not a professional. What's your opinion, detective?
Pale blue blood. Maybe Detective Goodman was actually an alien.
This proves that something really happened in front of the locker. I'll make a note of it on the floor plans.
Hey! If you don't want my opinion, you shouldn't have asked.
Alright, I'm assuming that's everything, but I do want to actually examine. Why is this open? Look, the front's open! And the red indicator light above the door is lit.
Oh, that locker is go to Detective Goodman's fingerprints.
Detective Goodman's locker? Are you serious? Are you sure it's okay to leave it open like that?
Well, it'd be hard to get it open again if we closed it.
It's empty. Huh, they must have taken out its contents elsewhere. This place is stuffed with evidence, stuffed with dreams. I'm not sure about the dreams. It won't open. Did you really think it would?
Hey pal, security's high tech around here.
What's a solid paint doing here?
Since the dawn of time, true art has been a war against oppression.
True art? I noticed that there's some blue and yellow paint here. Perhaps we're witnessing the birthplace of the Blue Badger.
Well, you might say this is my studio.
Here? In the evidence room. Huh, I didn't even think about the blue badger. Someone left a glove here, but only one? Detective Gumshoe, maybe?
There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of absent-minded detective. That evidence from the case, you know.
You mean the SL9? It does have a tag on it. Rubber glove was added to the court record. Extremely thin rubber glove, but it's a left-hand glove. And there's a right-hand print. What's this? Blood? It's a little worn, but it's definitely a handprint here. Looks like someone tried to wrap it off. Mr. Wright, what if there are other blood stains left in the room? We should use the testing fluid. Yes, I already did that. Something's sticking out of here. Looks like a shirt. I guess it must be evidence for some case. I wonder if Detective Gumshoe put it here.
There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of slob. I'm not responsible for the evidence here. That said, bet that evidence locker was open recently.
How do you know?
If you leave things hanging out like that, the evidence gets dirty or ripped. The guard checks on that kind of stuff and notifies the detective responsible. How many times have I had him breathing down my neck about some silly evidence?
Sounds like Detective Gumshoe leaves evidence hanging out a lot, too. I bet he does tuck in his shirt under that trench coat either.
If you're gonna talk about someone behind their back, don't do it right in front of them, pal.
Okay, you got nothing about the glove. Can't open that locker if your fingerprints don't match. If you can't open it... Oh, if you can open it, they'll give you 50 cents. Note, the police department lacks faith in its lock system.
So all Detective Goodman was stabbed here after opening his locker. But at the same time, he was found dead at the prosecution's office.
Yeah, we got 3 pools of blood. Alright, I think we're done here. I'm not seeing anything else. Oh, here we go. Wow, something must have broken the pieces big to make all these pieces. Think of Gumshoe, perhaps?
There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of hooligan. That is apparently from the case.
The case?
The SL9 incident, pal. See the sticker on one of the pieces there?
Another piece of SL9 evidence. I wonder what shape these pieces were before whatever it was broke. You want to try putting it back together?
Ha! Good luck, pal. That's no job for amateurs. Well, I spent a good 3 hours on that before I gave up on it.
That's why I always carry around a tube of glue. Well, this piece looks like the bottom. Better try putting the rest in place. Okay, right, I have to actually do that. There we go, there's that. I think it's you. No. Yeah. Interesting. I might be looking at this wrong. There we go. I was looking at it wrong. There we go. There we go. But hold on, there's still a giant piece missing. Huh? Well, I think we did it, but some of the pieces are missing.
Yeah, I got that far in 2 minutes myself. The problem is finishing it.
Were some pieces stolen? I bet they were missing to begin with.
Still, it don't look like the most stable kind of jaw.
I kind of understand how it got broken. Unstable jaw. Jaw piece back together from fragments found at the crime scene. A piece is missing.
Hey, pal, look at the time.
Was there something you needed to be doing? Or needed to go?
It's just that Mr. Edwards' inquiry committee should be letting out soon. I gotta give them my report for the day. It might help, you know.
Report? You mean the note written on the back of this flyer? The one that says nothing about no problems?
Hey, if Mr. Edwards we're talking about. What Mr. Edwards we're talking about? I'm sure he can use a report like this. I believe in him.
Who needs enemies when you got friends like Detective Gumshoe?
I'm off, pal. Later!
Losing my voice. I should probably see what Edwards has to say, too. I just want this to end! I'm hoping I'm close. I'm really hoping I'm close. It's just... if I don't want to end it. Until I actually finish. What the? Oh, I guess my apology! Oh! It's you. Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edworth, I beg your leave. So long! Is Edworth here? There! Standing by the window, a teacup in his hand. Right. He has the hotel bring him tea service? Mr. Edworth, you're back from the district prosecutor's office inquiry? I am. By the way, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you. Yes, he brought me the latest information, it seems. Really? Was it helpful? Apparently, a new French restaurant is opening near here. I think he was trying to console me somehow. The real info is on the other side, Edgeworth. Poor Mr. Edgeworth, I think this whole thing is really taking a toll on him. How'd the inquiry committee go? Naturally, they decided to treat this not as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation. Concealing evidence? Yes, apparently there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time. Again. Again? I've heard them say that so many times. Ever since that case 2 years ago. Are you okay for the trial tomorrow? Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney. However, something happened. They gave control of the investigation over to the police department. The police department? I don't want to keep saying police department like strange. Yes, any further investigations for this case will be directed by the Chief of Police, Gant. I can do nothing but wait for his results. I see. Why, I ask you? Why? All along, I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of.
still.
Wow, I've never seen him this out of sorts. Oh, right. I better check this now. As I was saying, what's this? A record of ID card usage? Edgeworth, you went to the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less.
Yes, that's true.
Why, Mr. Edgeworth?
Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go, by Chief Gett, no less.
The chief of police?
He wanted evidence for a case that wrapped up half a year ago. I told him... He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office.
But it was solved, right?
It would have to go into the evidence.
It would have to be... if the evidence was already filed.
The chief is never one to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbing, I brought this back here.
Can I ask what kind of case it was?
I can't say. It really has nothing to do with our current case.
And now I'm curious about this other case. I better make a note of it. Evidence of a past case, Edward was brought back to his office by Gant's request.
Stubborn as always. I told you this has nothing to do with our current case.
Oh, shoot. I actually had something to say here. Hold on.
I know you. You probably got a hold of some evidence already, right?
It all has to do with that case you were on, the SL9 incident, and some dark suspicions that you were wrapped up in.
You are the man who revived the worst memory of my life. I figure I'd be telling you about this sooner or later.
He must be talking about his father's murder in the elevator. Okay, Edgeworth, why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. I was hoping you might have something about the Blue Badger, but alright.
The SO9 incident was a heinous serial killing case.
The head of investigation was the Deputy Chief of Police at the time, Damon Gant.
That wacky old coup was involved in this case 2 years ago too, then?
He was the top officer, and it was my first time working with him. I was nervous. Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth? What I want to know is why was a Deputy Chief of Police on the investigation? In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal.
We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands.
We won our guilty verdict, and the killer was executed.
Wait, you didn't? Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do not have a code. I do have a code, and I follow it faithfully. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something.
My sister? My sister? What?
If you were still studying forensic science.
Huh? Yes, of course. Why, just today, Mr. Ray and I were using this.
Luminal testing fluid. Well then, you might have use for this.
Aluminum powder for making fingerprint? Or for taking I've heard people say aluminum and aluminium. I'm saying aluminum.
It's been chemically tested for better adhesion.
For me? Are you sure? We are the enemy, you know.
I've no say in today's investigation. Do as you will.
Edgeworth,
I'm really... No need to thank me. Here, take your powder and those fingerprints files for evidence involved.
Thanks. How about giving those to Detective Gumshoe as well?
Recover fingerprints from handprints from comparison with fingerprint files.
Well, let's get going! One last investigation.
Right. I do seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere.
Alright, let's go. No, not examine. And also Miss Star's gone. To the police department. The guard station. Even Mr. Cowboy's gone. Evidence room. Investigation turned up a suspicious handprint. Here in the blood on Detective Gumshoe's locker. Let's use our secret weapon we just borrowed. Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger. A finger. Each finger leaves a slightly different impression. Let's choose the finger that will have been left behind the clearest. I really can't tell the difference at a glance. Quit procrastinating and choose a finger. Okay, now it's time to check for prints. Let me show you how it's done. Emma's starting to get that sparkle in her eye. First, we sprinkle the aluminum powder here. How do you do that? With the A button. See? Ah! It looks like that did the trick. The aluminium powder adheres completely to the print. Once the powder is well spread, just blow away the excess. How do I do that? With the X button. Exciting, I know. Imagine you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake, see? Yeah, this was definitely a DS case. Well, that looks like fun. I might get some getting used to, though. It's fine. It won't go up your nose or anything. Just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. Those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright. I guess I gotta give it a try. Okay, I think there's more than enough. Aha! You did it! You found one! But this looks nothing like a fingerprint. Now that you mention it, I guess it doesn't. What does it mean? I think it means we're out of luck. Out of luck? The person who left the handprint must have worn a glove. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here! Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes with scientific investigations. But it does seem a shame. While we're at it, why don't we look for other prints? Other prints? Look at the locker door again closely. Seems... Oh! I didn't see that right there. Yeah! A print so clear it's dazzling. Dazzling? Anyways, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away. So we're not done yet? This is quite a process. Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint, and you know who and not knowing who the owner is, right? I guess she's right. Look at the fingerprint data from Mr. Edworth, and point to the person who might have left this print. Huh? How am I supposed to know who it was? I can make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means that the prints probably don't have anything to do with our case. So, whose fingerprints would most likely be on this evidence locker? I'm going to assume Gumshoe. It's a match. Aha! So these prints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what look. I guess that's probably because I was thinking, so what? Okay, so we came up with nothing this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint on this room. Let's check that one out. Where we got the fluid reaction, right? Right! There was a handprint here. Okay, wanna try using this? Got eye of the sparkle, let's check them out. That's a spirit. Oh! I'll have to warn you about something first. What? The arrows of blood was wiped away, right? We only ended up finding it because we used chemical means. Any prints in that area will have been wiped away, too. Oh. Right. So that means no prints. What do you say... Would you say the probability of your hypothesis is high? Don't ask me! Anyways, we must try to find prints that weren't wiped away. Prints other than the one left by the bloody hand? Oh goodness me, how much more does it want? I think I'd like to try one of the other fingerprints. Huh. I gave it my best shot. That kind of result won't be any good in matching fingerprints, will it? But it does look like we are on a clearer result from this print. Okay, let's try a different finger then. Well, is there more that you need? Like, is this not good enough? I don't know what was missing, but whatever. I'm happy. It's at least out of the way. Looking for that little swirl going up. There we go, Marshall. Hey! Those prints, they... Whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know? It's Officer Marshall! Huh? Officer Jake Marshall? Found a bloody handprint left on the evidence room. The print had been wiped. That's gotta be a coincidence! He's not involved in the crime! Emma. This is decisively different from Detective Gumshoe's prints. The luminal oil reaction, the blood, and the fingerprints are in the same place. So we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a wiped bloodstain. But why would Officer Marshall? It looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. I guess this is what you would call decisive evidence. I don't believe it. Oh, I'm kind of happy the fun's finally over with. Oh, that part in them. Pulp was telling detectives a cop in the back. Ugh. Okay, but I'm happy to at least call it quits, and I guess tomorrow, maybe not tomorrow, but next time we'll be going into the trial. That should be fun.